After the benefactor suffered from amnesia, his family, in a bid to elevate his fiancé's status, transferred a sum of money to me, tarnishing my reputation by portraying me as an interloper who had seduced him. In the hospital room, the benefactor scoffed, "I have always despised third parties and remain loyal to my beloved. Expel that person." Yet, just as I was preparing to flee, he caught sight of my face and reversed his stance. "Ah, so it is you who has been enticing me all along? Truly, your methods are remarkable." 1. In the third year of being sheltered by Lu Yuaning, he fell victim to a devious scheme orchestrated by business rivals, resulting in a car accident that left him bereft of memories. Yuaning, it's all due to certain unscrupulous individuals incessantly messaging you, causing your mind to be in disarray. Indeed, your white moonlight has waited long for you. You've always cherished him, and the two of you seem so blissfully in love. It's all the fault of that vain Omega. You have never shared a bed with him, yet he pretends to be pregnant to elevate his status. Just as I was about to knock on the door, I overheard a cacophony of criticisms directed at me within the hospital room. However, I chose to endure it. After all, the Lu family had compensated me handsomely, and this time I was merely playing along in this charade. The benefactor scoffed arrogantly from the hospital bed. "I have always detested third parties and remain loyal to my lover. I cannot accept my own indecision. That person, fully aware of my engagement, behaves inappropriately, which is utterly despicable." Lu Yuaning, unwilling to believe, interjected, "I consider myself a person of resolve. Falling for someone else would be a slander against my character. Expel that individual." Indeed, such words were characteristic of Lu Yuaning. He was composed and principled in his actions. As the executive of City S, he was perpetually serious and aloof. I had never understood why he took an interest in an Omega like me. I had merely stumbled during a routine checkup, spilling strawberry juice on him. I had bowed my head to apologize, and he had gazed at me intently for what felt like an eternity. Subsequently, we encountered each other several times in the city. One day, while I was washing my hands, Lu Yuaning inexplicably remarked, "You have succeeded. Come with me." As a canary, I was informed by the Lu family, ultimately discovering the truth. No wonder Lu Yuaning hadn't contacted me for 3 days. Aside from business trips, he was generally present every night. At that time, I was exceedingly dissatisfied, venting my frustrations while gaming. Other canaries return every 10 days or so. "I'm tired today. Bear with it." Lu Yuaning's Adam's apple bobbed as he stood there with damp hair dripping water, his deep-set eyes fixed on me. No. I sensed a shift in Lu Yuaning's body temperature as he embraced me from behind, nibbling on my earlobe. "Tomorrow I will give you an unlimited card." Lu Yuaning's lashes were long and alluringly cool. Even when aroused, his eyes resembled a pool of icy water. Even when I took a bite of ice cream, he would lean in to kiss me. "You are enticing me." I had no idea. Yet humans are insatiable. Once wealth is acquired, the desire for affection inevitably follows. The Lu family had a fiancé prepared for Lu Yuaning, and the entirety of the city was aware of it. Thus, I subtly broached the subject beneath the covers. "Are you going to marry her?" Lu Yuaning abruptly halted, his skin cooling gradually as he replied, "Ashing, do not dwell on such thoughts. I will always be with you." Wasn't that simply a lover's promise? My mother raised me not to engage in immoral conduct. Ultimately, he departed. I should have left long ago. This time, it was a conclusion. I pushed open the door, squeezed out tears, and pretended to be a third party demanding recognition. "Lu Yuaning, you liar. Didn't you promise to marry me?" Lu Yuaning looked up, his gaze fixed intently on me. "Fiancé?" He pondered, "Let's go get the marriage certificate tomorrow." 2. The room fell into an instant silence. A smile graced Lu Yuaning's lips, his eyes brimming with affection. "He is delicate and charming, the companion I desire. How could I ever redirect my affections? I will take good care of him. We shall have a healthy and beautiful child, and I will educate him well." Lu Yuaning's third uncle could no longer contain himself. "Yuaning, this is the beta who wishes to ascend in status." I immediately wiped a tear from my face and rolled on the floor. "My child is gone, Lu Yuaning. You must take responsibility for me." "Madman. An absolute lunatic." Lu Yuaning's assistant feigned placing a document on the floor. "You were never pregnant, you shameless scoundrel, ruining our President Lu's relationship. Disgusting." My eyes turned red as I pretended to deny everything. I did not. After a long pause, Lu Yuaning's cold voice finally broke the silence. "Perhaps the test was erroneous. There might genuinely be a child of mine." Lu Yuaning spoke earnestly, dismissing the previous remarks. He does not seem to be one who lies. Lu Yuaning's uncle exhaled sharply and spoke. Yuaning, do you not trust your uncle? Lu Yuaning fixed his gaze upon me, uttering without hesitation. He has cried. You have all misunderstood him. Lu Yuaning's Adam's apple quivered as his fingers intertwined. I feel that we truly have shared something. The body cannot lie. Others exchanged glances, and Lu Yuaning's uncle approached me, discreetly slipping a card into my hand. With newfound determination, I instantly turned on the charm. Lu Yuaning, I must confess, I orchestrated this whole scheme, but I truly like you. Lu Yuaning's gaze grew increasingly intense, and I felt a surge of wariness. So you have your reasons? Lu Yuaning grasped the blanket, his demeanor serious. Could you share them with me? No. I do not love you. I only covet your wealth. Who could blame me for being envious of your noble fiancé? I wish to ruin you. I unleashed every vicious word I could conjure. Who asked you to be so exceptional, so unattainable? Therefore, I fabricated the tale of our child, hoping to extort money from you and destroy everything you hold dear. This person is utterly vile. Lu Yuaning's uncle grasped Lu Yuaning's hand, his face contorted with rage. Yuaning, what did you just say? You want to expel him, right? This contemptible commoner is too cunning. He is nothing but a refugee from District D. Cast him out. Lu Yuaning remained silent. District D is unsafe. Someone as delicate as he is cannot go there. Realizing he had inadvertently shown bias, Lu Yuaning suddenly paused. Let him stay and observe. Perhaps he is an undercover agent, and I must engage with him thoroughly. Lu Yuaning's expression hardened, his demeanor serious. He must be getting close to me for confidential reasons. Moreover, did you not hear? He must have suffered as a child in such an environment, leading to his heightened sensitivity. I can see it. Even if he conceals it, he is genuinely afraid to express his affection. I can offer him a chance to pursue me openly. Lu Yuaning's uncle nearly choked on his own words. Yuaning, do you realize? He does not behave this way solely towards you. He has been a lover to many. He specifically seeks vanity and disrupts families. This burden of blame now rested upon my shoulders as Lu Yuaning hesitated, a flicker of disdain evident in his eyes. After all, his father had abandoned them both, even transferring assets, subjecting them to prolonged hardship until his mother passed away. Upon returning to the Lu family, Lu Yuaning had scrutinized his father's corporate misdeeds, sending him and his mistress to prison. Lu Yuaning clenched his jaw tightly, his gaze towards me growing increasingly frigid. As I was being expelled, I heard Lu Yuaning suddenly inquire from within the room, "Are you certain I love my fiancé?" "Indeed," they replied, their voices strained. "Yuaning, you must not overstep. Your fiancé has been by your side for so long. How could you possibly transgress?" Yes, Lu Yuaning had always excelled academically and in character. The most scandalous thing he had done was to take me under his wing. Should I truly not overstep? I feel I am betraying my fiancé. Lu Yuaning's lips bled from his biting. Is this truly something I would do? Redirect my affections? His friends could no longer bear to remain silent. Aining, if your fiancé coerced you into marriage, would you still desire that unloving person from earlier? Lu Yuaning's voice was calm. I can wait for him to love me. Fortunately, the deception was momentarily effective. Lu Yuaning adhered strictly to the rules. As long as he married his fiancée, even if he regained his memories, reconciliation with me would be impossible. After all, I was merely a canary. Lu Yuaning was responsible, composed, and never overstepped his boundaries. He frequently observed me, claiming he needed to personally assess my demeanor. The Lu family regretted allowing me to remain within Lu Yuaning's sight. Had it not been for the multitude of belongings in Lu Yuaning's room, they would have easily erased me from his memory. During lunch in the communal dining hall, I merely added an extra spoonful of rice when I unexpectedly bumped into Lu Yuaning around the corner. With my head bowed, I hadn't taken more than a few steps when Lu Yuaning suddenly grasped my wrist. You haven't applied the barrier patch. His Adam's apple bobbed as his cold gaze bore into mine. I suspected he might bite into my gland the next moment. My eyes trembled. Are you trying to lure me with another trick? I'm not. Then why haven't you put on the barrier patch? Because Lu Yuaning had been seeking me out every day. I had no need for it. Lu Yuaning fixed his intense gaze upon me, and suddenly took a step forward, nearly kissing me, though he restrained himself just in time. Ningxiang, I would never be fond of an Omega as vain and manipulative as you. That's a relief. I could only hope he would marry that woman from the Qin family as soon as possible. Lu Yuaning's gaze frequently roamed over me. He finally set down his yogurt, and I instinctively took a sip. As I lifted my eyes, I met Lu Yuaning's icy stare. Alas, after living together for so long, such reactions had become reflexive. I apologize. Lu Yuaning advanced toward me, his tone indifferent. Is that your only ambition, to rise in status? I didn't mean to. Just as I opened my mouth to apologize, Lu Yuaning's fingers slipped into my mouth. His fingertip pressed against my tongue, gliding over the interior, then nudging my palate. Spit it out. The sensation overwhelmed me, drawing tears as I bent over to the sink to wash my mouth. Upon returning, I offered Lu Yuaning my apologies. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Lu Yuaning's gaze grew increasingly frigid. I noticed his palm clenched tightly. How much did he loathe me? Strangely, my heart ached slightly. It turned out that the previous couple's dynamic might have been an accident after all. Perhaps it was meant to be that we were strangers. On the day Lu Yuaning and his fiancée Chen Yun attended an event together, I happened to see it. That night, the Lu family suddenly sought me out. Lu Yuaning was unwilling to become engaged to his fiancée, and his emotional state was deteriorating. Moreover, he exhibited a strong aversion to any contact with her, despite their perfect compatibility. Lu Yuaning's uncle looked at me. Yuning said he needs to adapt and adjust on his own. Oh dear, they must be given time. After all, they have only just met. Given Lu Yuaning's attitude toward me, I could hardly believe he was hesitating because of me. His uncle clasped his hands together. Perhaps for good measure, he stated, "Isn't the deputy supervisor of the district and the management center Professor Su? You might leverage your looks to approach him. After all, he was the one who saved you alongside Yuning in District D. I heard he carried you at that time, and he has a cleanliness obsession. How could I be that remarkable? In any case, go find Su Chuanan and be with him. Lu Yuaning has always adhered to propriety, and is of the same cohort as Su Chuanan, so he will certainly not develop any feelings for you." The head of the Lu family caressed a document that bore my elderly grandmother's name. "You wouldn't want any disturbances from the elderly, would you? Don't expect Lu Yuaning to assist you. He has lost his memory." I inhaled deeply. I began to frequently seek out Professor Su, who worked at the district's experimental center. He was refined and amiable, clad in a white coat, exuding warmth. "Professor Su, your cologne smells delightful," I casually remarked as I approached. "I don't wear cologne." I smiled, striking up a conversation. "Really? Then why do I detect a fragrance I find so appealing?" Suddenly, Su Chuanan leaned slightly forward, revealing his pristine neck. "You can come a bit closer to see if it's true. What are you two up to?" Lu Yuaning frowned, his eyes filled with suspicion. Whenever I glanced at another alpha, Lu Yuaning would wear that same expression, and I would find myself unable to rise from the bed. I quickly concealed my surprise. We were discussing dinner plans. However, Lu Yuaning merely lowered his gaze. How coincidental, we can go together. Under the table, I recalled the manual the Lu family had provided me, which listed numerous flirtation techniques. I lowered my head to enjoy my eel rice, then extended my foot. I subtly brushed against Su Chuanan's ankle, gradually moving up his leg. He did not resist. My muscles tightened with anticipation as I took another bite, glancing up at the still composed Su Chuanan. His demeanor remained steady, reminiscent of when Lu Yuaning had allowed me to lie in his arms during video calls with others, embodying an unwavering calm. Lu Yuaning, initially displeased, seemed to relax a little. Suddenly, he let out a low grunt, and just as I was puzzled, I felt a grip on my calf. Had I just brushed against Lu Yuaning? No wonder it felt so familiar. After finishing my meal, I was about to follow Su Chuanan when Lu Yuaning called out, "Ning Shang, come here." His disdain was increasingly evident, a mix of anger and restraint. Lu Yuaning raised his gaze, his Adam's apple moving. "Is this how you've always seduced me? Truly remarkable tactics." I blushed, attempting to explain, "That wasn't my intention." Lu Yuaning coldly instructed, "Tonight, report how you meticulously sought me out." Later that night, I stood before him, realizing Lu Yuaning expected a detailed account. I had not pursued him at all. In fact, I had been terrified. As I racked my brain for a response, an idea struck me. Lu Yuaning had always been the one in control. He disliked the gaudy, seductive persona. I hesitantly began, "At that time, I sent you a picture of my legs." Lu Yuaning fell silent, and after a moment he mocked, "Vulgar." Lying on the bed later, I stumbled upon a post. "What to do if you have a fiancé but have developed feelings for someone else?" The post had garnered hundreds of insults within just an hour. Had Lu Yuaning not been so icy just now, I might have thought he authored it himself. As my interactions with Professor Su increased, some began to jest. Is there something going on between you two? You seem quite close. Just after this remark, Lu Yuaning entered. Management prohibits relationships with staff. I sensed his deliberate targeting of me, a clear disdain in his eyes. The next day, during the assembly, I fainted. Su Chuanan cradled my face, his brow furrowed with concern. His eyes filled with care as he lifted me.
Ningsen.
I shook my head. I'm fine. He took me to the hospital where I discovered the truth. I was pregnant. I had always taken precautions. My hands trembled. The child must belong to Lu Yuaning. Su Chuanan hesitated to say, "Are you aware of my relationship with Lu Yuaning?" My heart raced. How would Su Chuanan perceive me after these days? Weren't you two broken up? Yes. Su Chuanan lowered his gaze, asking, Ning Shang, haven't you been pursuing me these days? I don't mind. We could give it a try. I took a deep breath, resting my hand on my belly. Thank you, but with such a significant development, I need some time to think. All right. The following day, Lu Yuaning summoned me for a discussion in his office. As I stepped inside, an object unexpectedly fell to the ground. My heart trembled. It was something that Lu Yuaning and I had previously placed in the office. With my mind racing, I feigned the act of picking it up. I apologize, it was a gift from someone I admire. Please forgive my clumsiness. Lu Yuaning's eyes reddened. Su Chunan enjoys playing with this? Perhaps it was merely my imagination, but his voice dripped with jealousy. Yes, I reluctantly deflected the blame onto Su Chunan. Seems he has quite a collection. Can you handle that? I instantly recalled how Lu Yuaning appeared gentle, yet I bit my lip. He is quite skilled. Indeed. He clenched his jaw, raising his gaze. You and Su Chunan are rather close. Did you send him a photo of your legs? So if I don't respond, you seek solace elsewhere? Has he kissed your lips? Lu Yuaning bombarded me with pointed questions, each laced with venom, the last one hitting particularly hard.
Ningsen.
Are you truly devoid of shame? My eyes stung, the accumulated pressure and grievances bursting forth. The doctor had informed me that I was 2 months pregnant, a revelation I had sought from Lu Yuaning regarding his fiancée. His proposed solution was for me to become pregnant, willingly accepting the role of his mistress. I no longer desired him. My throat tightened as I defiantly spoke. Lu Yuaning, what business is it of yours? I did not provoke you. Professor Su is far superior to you now, so please, do not seek me out again. After Lu Yuaning's amnesia, I coldly ignored him for the first time.
Ningsen.
It was you who sought to cling to me first. Rest assured, that will never happen again. Lu Yuaning ordered me to leave, but just as I took a step out, I heard the sound of a teacup shattering from within the office. Lu Yuaning's friend informed me that he would be drugged and spend the night with his fiancée. They had administered 2 injections of aphrodisiac and sedatives. Their pheromone compatibility was exceptionally high, suggesting they would be quite harmonious moving forward. Upon learning this news, my heart felt as though it were being crushed. While I was tidying my room, the door swung open. Lu Yuaning entered, astonishingly finding his way here by memory. As I bent down, I felt weak, gazing up at him with watery eyes. Lu Yuaning's gaze fell upon the nape of my neck. Suddenly, he grasped my hand and whispered in my ear, "You truly know how to entice." Yet, in the next moment, Lu Yuaning unexpectedly kissed me, skillfully cradling me before the vanity mirror. He held me tightly, his body burning, his voice deep and husky. I do not wish to mark him. When I close my eyes, it is you I see. Lu Yuaning, be more aware. I shook his shoulders, but he grasped my wrist, the veins on the back of his hand standing out. I am quite awake. My instincts led me here. You are so enamored with vanity. Surely you wish for me to fall in love with you. If you change your affections, then I suppose I should remain your target. I am quite wealthy, far more capable than Su Chunan. I lowered my gaze. If you feign a bit more love for me, your desires shall be fulfilled. He caressed the nape of my neck, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. Do you not wish to rise in status? I can ensure you truly become pregnant. Lu Yuaning stubbornly held my hand, his eyes reddening as he kissed me. Lu Yuaning, I grasped his wrist, attempting to restrain him. Are you certain? You have a fiancé. Do you wish to make another mistake? Lu Yuaning's eyes flickered with hesitation and conflict. Finally, he bit my earlobe, his voice low and hoarse. Let us indulge in an affair. I could hardly believe it. Lu Yuaning had lost his mind. Had he truly descended into moral depravity? Though it was everyone else who had deceived him. It was all the Lu family's doing, drugging Lu Yuaning. Just as I attempted to break free, Lu Yuaning grasped my calf. I like you. His voice was soft, his fingers sending shivers across my skin. My heart raced. Even in the past, Lu Yuaning had never uttered those words to me. I have verified that I had no prior connection with my fiancé, nor did I engage with him in any way. Starting tomorrow, let us be together. His alpha pheromones filled the air, causing me to feel lightheaded. Lu Yuaning's fingers traced my spine, his voice heavy. There will be no need for infidelity henceforth. I only desire you. Lu Yuaning sank his teeth into my gland, covering my mouth. That night, I felt as though I had been ravaged thoroughly. In the morning, Lu Yuaning could not resist holding me tightly. As I opened my eyes, we locked gazes. He immediately leaned down to kiss my lips. Ningxiang, we should not have only shared this once. Under the intensity of his gaze, I nodded. Before your amnesia, I had already succumbed. After, I found myself utterly unable to control my feelings, falling for you at first sight. Ningxiang, I must possess you. I believe you are not as terrible as they say, at least not as the Lu family portrays you. From now on, you shall tell me directly, understood? My heart raced as the morning light streamed in. The kiss was sweet, the warmth of regained intimacy unforgettable. I thought to myself that perhaps I had developed feelings for Lu Yuaning. The Lu family approached me once more, attempting to coerce my departure.
Ningxen.
Did you say something to Lu Yuaning? A bucket of water was splashed over my head. Why did he run away yesterday? Surveillance even shows he went to the place where you used to live. I did nothing. He found it on his own. Have you been marked by him again? The Lu family pounded the table. I suspected they wished to eliminate me. At that moment, Su Chunan messaged me. The Chun family and Lu family marriage was something the Lu family aimed to orchestrate. The Lu family is unlikely to allow Lu Yuaning to be with you. I am being reassigned. Come with me, and I will protect you and the child. As for your status, just pretend to be my partner. I lowered my gaze. The Lu family's power was too overwhelming. They would never allow me to carry this child. At the high society banquet in S City, Lu Yuaning had just announced his intention to dissolve the engagement with the Chun family. I was taken aback. Lu Yuaning had accomplished such a monumental feat without a word. However, at that moment, Su Chunan also stepped forward to announce something. Ningxiang, my partner. Su Chunan gazed at me gently, while Lu Yuaning's eyes, like those of a hawk, bore down on me. The glass in his hand shattered under the force of his alpha energy. Lu Yuaning's face darkened with fury. All eyes turned toward him, and Professor Su tightened his grip on my hand. Su Chunan lowered his head and suddenly pressed a kiss to my cheek. Yet, mere moments later, I was yanked away by Lu Yuaning into a private room, where I could hear his furious heartbeat. What are you doing? Have you agreed to Su Chunan? I replied, I'm sorry, we are not suited for each other. What about that night? Lu Yuaning's gaze pierced through me, a cold smirk playing on his lips. Will you not offer an explanation? I choked out, Lu Yuaning, just consider it a casual affair. It's fine. No need to take responsibility. Lu Yuaning's voice grew increasingly frigid. Ningxiang, you truly are a loose person. Does Su Chunan know about our past? He does. He was rather pleased about your amnesia, truly. Su Chunan and I. Whom do you favor? He held my neck firmly, his other hand exerting pressure. Lu Yuaning's eyes reddened, and he appeared ready to bite into my gland. Have you lost your mind? Lu Yuaning. The scent of pheromones was pervasive, and it would undoubtedly lead to exposure. I exclaimed, I am now Su Chuanan's. And what of it? He replied, your family upbringing is strict. Do you wish to covet another's partner? Especially in such a setting. Do you not feel embarrassed? Lu Yuaning's lips brushed against my resisting palm, piercing deeply. You have driven me to madness. I felt a wave of dizziness wash over me. I can play the role of a third party as well. Whoever you are with, I shall reclaim. Just then, Professor Su entered, and Lu Yuaning enveloped me in shadow. He bit down even deeper. I could not help but weaken, my eyes widening. Did Lu Yuaning not fear being discovered? Speak. Who do you like? When I hesitated to respond, Lu Yuaning moved to push the door. Panic seized me, and I clutched his sleeve in supplication. I like you. Lu Yuaning, I like you. Yet Lu Yuaning pressed in even further, his eyes reddening. That day, Lu Yuaning took me away from the banquet in a fit of rage, trapping me in a room where he marked me repeatedly. I laid out the path for you, yet you refused to walk it. You are fickle. Then shall I be a bit cruel to you as well, all right? Ashamed. In that case, you will not seek others. The air was thick with Lu Yuaning's overwhelming pheromone scent. I could only plead for a modicum of his solace, clutching at his clothing. I don't want anyone else. Having you is enough. Lu Yuaning's expression finally softened, though his cold demeanor remained heavy. He silently cleaned my body before saying, "Do not fear me." I could only soothe him, not knowing how many days passed in a haze. The next time I saw sunlight, it was Su Chunan. "You came to find me?" "Yes." "I feared that if I delayed any longer, Lu Yuaning would discover your pregnancy. I traded my resources with the Lu family. After all, they do not wish for you to be with Lu Yuaning, a win-win situation." "And Lu Yuaning?" Su Chunan paused before answering. "His memory has been wiped clean again. He has been sent to the biological therapy room." The Lu family's influence was far too immense, and even Lu Yuaning currently had no means to resist it. My heart sank. I could not let the Lu family know of my pregnancy. "Thank you." "There's nothing," Su Chunan replied, helping me up. "Just being with you is enough." I glanced back at Su Chunan, who smiled. "On the day I carried you, you thanked everyone who cared for you, but not me. I suppose that you feel you cannot have me? Is it because I am too mundane, and no one wishes to connect with me, that you feel this way? In the end, you gifted me a present, a plethora of star coins and a luminous butterfly, so heartfelt. You wished me fervent love." I understood the emotions expressed in Su Chuanan's eyes. It was an undying affection, yet I could not respond. 5 years passed and Xiao Yun grew adorably. Su Chunan served in the region, despite it being a remote and underdeveloped area. He remained by my side and that of Xiao Yun. Xiao Yun was lively and cheerful, aspiring to become a commander in the grand city. The sunlight was warm, yet Su Chuanan's health deteriorated. Xiao Yun often embraced him, asking, "Father, are you all right? When shall we fly kites next?" "I'm fine. How could I not be with you both?" However, I had caught him coughing up blood more than once, and his strength was waning. Xiao Yun, anxious, had saved up from his allowance for a long time. "I must save father." We searched for high-quality medicinal herbs, but Su Chunan urged us not to waste money. "Ningxiang, I know my body. Just give me a hug." Su Chunan kept the crystal butterfly close. Only true love would make it shine. Therefore, as long as I harbored no romantic feelings for him, Su Chunan had never overstepped. "Isn't a friend's love enough? You are already family to Xiao Yun and me." "Yes, we are family." I regretted giving him that gift in the first place. "I am quite content just to be with you." Before we could embark on the journey for medicine, Lu Yuaning arrived at the door. While Xiao Yun was warming milk for Su Chunan, the executive Lu Yuaning walked in. He was tall, locking eyes with Xiao Yun. In a flash, Xiao Yun's blanket fell to the ground, scattering. Xiao Yun resembled me, but most closely mirrored Lu Yuaning. In previous years, Xiao Yun often cuddled up to Su Chunan. "Father, why do I not look much like you? Your features are gentle, while mine are sharper. Who are you?" Xiao Yun's voice quivered. Lu Yuaning's eyes flashed with emotion before he spoke. Trembling, "I have a child." Xiao Yun immediately stood protectively in front of Su Chunan. "Do not come in." The alpha's imposing aura was palpable, and Xiao Yun feared Lu Yuaning would harm Su Chunan. "Do not harm my father." Lu Yuaning's gaze sharpened, and he smiled. "Father, Ningxiang told you he is your father?" Meanwhile, I emerged from the kitchen. I met Lu Yuaning's gaze. Over the years, his features had matured, and his physique had grown stronger. I pressed my lips together. Su Chunan had mentioned that Lu Yuaning's memory had been erased. So what of now?
Ningxen.
Why did you not tell me earlier that you had a child? My heart skipped a beat. You remember everything? All of it, every last detail. Lu Yuaning spoke softly. My memories remain, Ashang. Come here, return home with me. On what grounds? Xiao Yun, though small, stood firm. Who would return with you? This is my home. Lu Yuaning's palms tightened and then relaxed. You are my son. Although Xiao Yun had sensed something, Lu Yuaning's words confirmed it. The child's searching gaze fell upon me. Xiao Yun, Su Chunan spoke gently. He is indeed your father. There is no need for doubt. Xiao Yun stood behind me. Then I will not acknowledge it. In my heart, you are my father. Su Chuanan's eyes were tender, yet he addressed me. Xiao Sheng, may I speak privately with Lu Yuaning? I nodded. Half an hour later, Lu Yuaning emerged and suddenly grasped my hand. Ningxiang, let us talk. After all these years, it was the first time I had seen Lu Yuaning. I wiped my palms with a cloth, still slick with the remnants of cooking oil. Ningxiang, come with me. Hearing those words again, I raised my head. Lu Yuaning, it has been a long time. I have not inquired about the news from the upper city. I do not know if you have married into the Qin family, nor do I know if you have other children. Our circumstances, both present and future, remain vastly different. If you cannot care for Xiao Yun and give him a proper name, then do not meddle with us." Lu Yuning remained silent for a long while, drawing closer to me. "I will only ask you this. In these 5 years, have you thought of me?" My heart felt as though it had been yanked tight. Lu Yuning was the sole marker in my heart. How could I ever forget him? Sometimes, even in nightmares, I dreamt of my time as a canary. Lu Yuning suddenly approached me, like a drenched puppy. My heart raced. "Ning Sheng, I am now the highest-ranking commander in S City. I have no children other than yours. I am not married. Ning Sheng, I miss you." Lu Yuning's pheromones linger at the tip of my nose, mingling with the damp scent of flora, stirring my heart. "Come back to the upper district with me." I shook my head. I still have to take care of Brother Chuanan. At the current level here, it is utterly impossible to treat him. "Why?" Lu Yuning gazed at me and began to explain. It turned out that in order to liberate me, Su Chuanan had exchanged his own research results with the Lu family. He sustained radioactive injuries during his research, resulting in his health deteriorating with each passing day. My heart tightened. "We must save him," Lu Yuning said. "If it weren't for him, you might have suffered harm at the hands of the Lu family. Moreover, our child is also involved. So, let us return to the upper district." I sought out Su Chuanan to inform him that treatment was available. He was unwilling. Little Yun cried anxiously, "Please, do it for little Yun." Eventually, we managed to return to the main district. On the operational cruise ship, little Yun would occasionally sneak glances at Lu Yuning. "Father is much better, you're so fierce." I could tell that little Yun harbored some fondness for Lu Yuning. Su Chuanan accepted the treatment, and the surgery proceeded smoothly. As the sea breeze wafted in, Lu Yuning leaned against the window and asked, "Have you developed feelings for Su Chuanan?" "Lu Yuning, didn't you erase your memories? Why aren't you together with that Omega?" This was what concerned me the most. "Ning Sheng, I can tell you that even if my memories were altered, my bodily reactions cannot deceive me. I still refuse. In fact, I have enhanced my abilities, creating value that I can provide even without marrying into the Qin family. I am dismantling various factions step by step to strive for the highest command authority." Lu Yuning's eyelashes fluttered. "Because I desire something." My gaze suddenly fell upon the scars on Lu Yuning's arm. What happened? Lu Yuning removed his clothing, revealing a multitude of scars on his body, leaving me astounded. They have tried electric shocks and physical harm, deepening the injuries repeatedly. Some are from various circumstances. Lu Yuning softly inquired, "Is it very unsightly?" I shook my head, though my heart ached slightly. "Su Chuanan treats you very well. But," Lu Yuning looked at me, half kneeling before me. "I have always loved you, continuously. Loving him does not preclude you from loving me a little, even if it's just a fraction." Suddenly, Lu Yuning clasped my wrist, his gaze fervent, brushing against my lips. "I am the highest-ranking commander. You cannot escape. You can only be with me. I cannot share with anyone else. I only want you." I sighed. "Lu Yuning, I understand your nature. Your essence is possessiveness. But you can truly obtain what you desire. I have always liked you. You cannot mark anyone else. And I also repel the pheromones of others." Lu Yuning was overjoyed, tightening his grip and kissing my lips directly. He cradled my face, his voice trembling. "Do you know? The first moment I saw you with someone else, I was consumed by jealousy." I retorted, simultaneously feeling regret. "Lu Yuning, I genuinely want to choose Su Chuanan." Lu Yuning's eyes narrowed as he pulled me into his embrace. "No, because there can only be me. Do not think about it." Lu Yuning released some pheromones, his eyes reddening as he couldn't resist kissing my collarbone. "Little Yun does not like me. Would you like to have a lovely daughter?" I disagreed with the first half of his statement but pondered the latter. Spring blossomed 3 years later. Little Yun became increasingly close to Lu Yuning, while my sister adored Uncle Su, the deputy commander, begging him to braid her hair. Lu Yuning's eyes turned red, and at night he once more asked me, "Shall we have another?" The end of the story. Thank you for listening, and we'll meet in the next tale.